insurance, 70 years old. So, a lot of times you can't go to the grandparent because the grandparent may be out of town or the grandparent may be working. What other alternatives do you offer? A work from home program?
Yeah. Before care, after care, if that's available, if those hours are available, before care, school care, after school care, if they are within those hours. But other than that, I can't just say living with the neighbor down the street, across the street. I don't trust that. I can't give you any other alternatives besides before school care, after school care, if it's within those hours, because I don't advise leaving your child with anyone.
And a lot of times when you leave them in the care of a program worker like that, they have to be vetted. They have to be fingerprinted. They, it's a whole, it's not just saying I fill out an application and I got the job. It's, they asking questions. They're doing background checks. They're checking for criminal records. They don't just hire anybody to take care of kids. Right. And not saying that people don't slip through the cracks, but you have to, you have to have, as the Bible say, have an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying to let you know whether or not. Because I walked in, I remember when my kids were smaller and we were looking at daycares, and I think it was 2 daycares, but one in particular. I walked in and I was like, nope, this ain't it. Hard decisions that parents have to make, when it comes to our children, because things ain't like it was, 40, 50, 60 years ago. There were trusted people around that you could leave your child.
And you know what? Since we're talking about this subject, I know you said there were trusted people around, but now that I'm reflecting back on different situations, and I can recall people, like there were several people that are older than us, like maybe in their 60s and 70s, that years ago, they didn't talk about it. Like now, a lot of things are coming to light now during this day and time. But years ago, there were people who Uncle John or Uncle Tommy didn't touch, but they kept their mouth closed through decades and decades and decades. And it goes back to, that's why these kids are dealing with so much. That's why these adults are dealing with so much. That's why, like I said about the statement Frederick Douglass, it is easier to build stronger children than to repair broken men, because of things that happened or transpired in their childhood. They never dealt with it. And because they never dealt with it, now this is the outcome as an adult. And then even the ones that might have been molested, I'm talking about even the male kids that were molested, as they became adults, it became generational. It was never dealt with. So now they going on to their nephew or their niece, and it's becoming a generation of molestation. Instead of someone stepping in and breaking a cycle, someone's getting help, someone's getting counseling. It's not happening because it wasn't being talked about then.
Yeah, I remember I had a neighbor, and something, even as a kid, something just didn't sit right with me with this particular neighbor. And I think I went to their house one time. He had some candy, asked me to come in. I went in to get the candy. I don't know if he had asked me to sit on his lap or something, and I left. And so it was Halloween, and some kid came to his house he thought was me. He showed me a picture of the kid. And he was like, yeah, I see you. I got a picture of you in your Halloween costume. I said, no, that wasn't me. Yes, it was. No, that wasn't me. I got the picture right here. This you right here. I said, we don't even celebrate Halloween. He thought they came. He done got a hug out of somebody, wasn't me though. He tried to argue me down, and we don't even celebrate Halloween. That is not me. But you have, it's imperative that you have a relationship with the Lord, because the Bible said men will deceive you. They can put up the best front. We had a family friend, and he always had kids around, always had kids at his house. He come into town, he want to get me and my sister and let us spend a night with him. And I was grown. And there was one particular kid, I think that was her dad. I wasn't always sure, but he would always get her too. And get her friends too. And somebody said that he touched them. And so, of course, my mama came. Did he touch y'all? You know, because she ready. You know, she ready to go. She ready to go to jail. Did he touch you? Did he touch you? That's all I need to know. I said, Mama, he never did anything to us. He was always really nice. So they was like, no, you know, we ain't never had that situation with him. Situation occurred. Had children over. Another young lady said he touched her. He ended up going to prison and dying in prison. But come to find out, that's what he was getting these kids. And I don't know if he was trying to see how he could get away with it or what. You have to watch that person. They'd be like, hey, bring your kids over here. I got 'em. You know, sometimes you would think they would have a good heart, but you really have to discern, you know, because it's so much.
Yeah, we have to protect our kids. We have to protect this generation because so much is going on. The devil is crafty. He tries to be crafty. So we have to really allow the Holy Spirit that is within us to lead us and guide us and make sure that, you know, our eyes are open, our ears are open, to prevent these type of issues from occurring.
I'm going to throw this out there. When I was in school, we had a teacher that was sleeping with female students. And he would buy them, you know, the latest tennis shoes, outfits, you know. And I know the parents had to see that their child is coming home with something that they didn't have before. And they ain't say nothing. And there were several girls. And the only way that I knew was because he did it to my best friend. And then he offered to buy her something. And of course she had the good sense to say, no, I don't want anything from you. But she didn't know what to do when that situation occurred. And so she came to me and I'm like, wow, you know, you need to tell somebody. And she wouldn't tell anybody because he was married and he was a minister and he was a teacher. When you see your child, whether it's a young man that's buying them things or they just showing up out the blue with new clothes, new shoes, or a new phone, investigate. Find out where that stuff come from because sometimes that's hush-hush stuff. You know, you let me do this to you and I'm going to buy you, you know, XYZ. And, you know, even when it comes to domestic violence situations, you talked about how, you know, these girls will allow these boys to beat on them. Because they think that him buying them something equates his love. And so, you know, I know we're probably where we're actually over. But I think it's important that we talk about this. Because like you said, you as an administrator, you see a lot that's going on that parents are totally unaware that their children are involved in. So, Ms. Keirston, before I let you go today, we got one more show. You definitely want to tune in to that next show. We're going to talk about disrespect and what that means. But before you go, talk to the parents and tell them if they think that their child may be going through something. Because sometimes they may feel like, I can't afford to get my child counseling.
Well, there are different resources available out there. Some of them may do a sliding scale, but you have to actually go to those organizations and inquire about costs. Like I said, you have we have Alta Point, you have the Bridge, you have Youth and Family Services. That's through Mobile Police Department. That is a free service, and they have different workers assigned to different precincts. So whatever precinct that you're located in, you'll be able to reach out to that particular person, and they'll submit a referral, and you'll get the services and the resources that you need.
There's a lot available to people.
Now, as far as domestic violence, you already know that you have Penelope House available. Now, you know, of course, Penelope House, that is a free service. So, like, if mom is getting abused in the home, she can always call Penelope House, and they'll have a police escort to come pick her up and take her to that safe place. Her children are welcome to come as well.
There are a lot of resources that are out there that, you know, people are not aware of. They think that, you know, they're just stuck in that situation. But there is a way of escape. You know, there are organizations out there that offer free services or even services at a discount rate. Lifeline Counseling is also an organization as well that provides counseling services to you all as well. Well, Keirston, I want to thank you for being a part of the Color Outside the Box podcast. Wow. I mean, you have really shared some information with us that I believe is going to help a lot of people. And I want you guys to stay tuned next week for another great episode of Color Outside the Box podcast with your hostess, Princess Miller. Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see your practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Is your cell phone bill out of control? Then this is your wake-up call. The new TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited talk and text starting at $20 a month, no contract, plus unlimited carryover data with active service. Yep, the new TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Today on Season 2 of the Color Outside the Box podcast.
You may tell a child to do something, but you're not even doing it. Mm-hmm. But see, if you lead the way and set the example before them, then that helps along the way.
Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard. Well, good Monday morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Color Outside the Box podcast with your hostess, Princess Miller, and we are back again with our final show for this series. Miss Keirston Gaines is here with us. Good morning, Miss Keirston.
Good morning, Princess. How are you doing?
Oh, these shows, my goodness, they've been good, but they've been emotional. So today we're going to talk about the last leg of this segment. We're still talking about issues that kids are facing today, but we're going to talk about disrespect and willful disobedience. Oh my goodness. As a principal, assistant principal in the school system, I know you have seen your fair share of disrespect and willful disobedience. Yes. So let's talk about it. Give us some examples that you've seen of children being disrespectful.
Well, some examples may include cursing in authority figures, yelling, throwing things, calling names to teachers, being rude, things of that nature.
Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to do this show is I'm not trying to say all kids are bad, all parents are not good.
Right.
But what we want to point out to you is some instances where children are being disrespectful outside the home and how to deal with that as a parent. You know, sometimes we may have missed an opportunity to teach them that lesson of, you know, I got a little nephew, smart as a whip, head of his class, first grade, every day. His boy come home, not every day, but most days, come home, he done did something. Because he's the only kid, only child, so he's used to, you know, getting his way. And so when he get to school, he doesn't understand that because I got my way at home and I could yell and jump off stuff at home, I can't do that at school. Right. So it's been a culture thing, but a culture shock for him. But he's learning how to conduct himself at school versus at home, and his parents are trying to instill that in him. But at the same time, you know, I'm 6 and I'm, you know, used to having fun and doing what I want to do. And now I got to go to school and I got to follow the rules. Like I called him the other day and I said, how was school today? He whispered, it was not good. I said, it was not good. No. I said, well, what happened? I was on orange. I said, why were you on orange? Not following directions. he's trying to whisper to me because his mama in the room, in the next room. So he trying to quietly tell me what